Hey everybody, James the XD Man here, and I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. A 35 round XDM Elite magazine, one of the stick magazines. I have it adjusted for the Echelon brand new pistol from Springfield. Now, this magazine isn't supposed to work in this gun, but we did a little magic to that magazine. Let's see if it'll focus. Basically, what we did is we matched the notches that are in the Echelon magazine to make this fit. Now, I had to do a sloppy cut in the front right there just to experiment to even see if it would work. Now, I would warn you that this isn't for any type of duty or serious CCW use. This is just for range, and right now this is still just experimentation to see if it will even work, because I haven't actually taken a round and shot it yet. You know, I've loaded it up and we're gonna see what happens. Now, one of the things about using an XDM magazine, even though I've cut the notch in the front to make room for the disassembly bar that's in the Echelon, the taper of the top of the magazines are slightly different between the XDM and Echelon, and so it doesn't like to fit quite easy. So what I want to show you is that when we go to insert it in, notice how it's a really tight fit, but it is now locked in place. Also, when you eject it, even though you push the button, you're going to have to pull that magazine out because it's in there really tight, and that's because of the top of the shape of the magazine differences. So again, not for duty use, for range play use for sure, you know, but let's see if it works. All right, so we're going to use the Echelon with the Yankee Hill Machine R9 9mm suppressor, 35 round XDM magazine, and let's see if we could get it to function. Locked into place, so that's good. Magazine's not going anywhere. All right. See how good it does. Let's do some headshots. Back to body. Ooh, we got our first jam. Fired that time. And it even locked open. All right, we're going to try test number 2. I switched out the suppressors. This one is an XD Man original Form 1 9mm suppressor. Also wanted to show you what else was on the pistol. We got a Surefire X300 and a Vortex Defender CCW on here, and it fits the pistol very nicely, I do say. The only thing that I don't quite like is there's a gap in the front and the back. So if I move it over here, you see that gap in the front and the back right there? It still works, but you know, it's not form fitted for that slide for sure. So let's try it again. Now remember, the first jam that we got in the magazine, there could be a whole host of reasons. Remember, this is testing and evaluation only, so we're still trying to figure out a whole bunch of things, like nothing was oiled. This was straight out of the box, and you know, they were the first shots, so we should expect some problems until we figure out some timing of where exactly we need to put that notch in there and how high it needs to ride in the slide and everything like that. So, you know, for just being able to work that much, that's pretty good. Plus, we're using some Remington subsonic ammo at 945 feet per second, so we don't even know if the gun likes that with the suppressor or not. That's why we switched out the suppressor to an aluminum suppressor instead of a welded steel one, and let's see if that lighter weight on the end of the barrel lets it function even better. So let's go ahead and try it out. Locked it in. See if we can see it. All right, ready? Woo! And again, no malfunctions that time, and it even locked the slide back. So I think it likes that lighter weight suppressor in the front. As I was shooting it, I don't think it, yeah, I think the impulse felt better, in my opinion, with that lighter weight suppressor on there. So maybe that had something to do with it, but, you know, man. Now, notice I had to pull it out of there, but 35 round XDM magazine in an Echelon in a pistol it's not even supposed to be able to work in, just by cutting that notch in the front, that is pretty freaking cool. And I said I was going to do it, and I did it. How freaking awesome is that? All right, now that some of the excitement's worn off from that shooting this 35 round XDM magazine in an Echelon and a pistol it wasn't meant to work in, let's go back and do some technical details for this. So the way that I did this was I basically just cut the little notch for the disassembler in the disassembler lever in the Echelon, and then just cut a simple little slot in the front. Now, one thing that I will have to say shooting suppressed is, dang, this thing gets dirty. Look at the tip and all in the inside of there. It is dirty, and I'll show you the Vortex Defender in a second too. But let's go back to the magazine. So when you insert the magazine in there, now one thing that I do want to warn you, if you have your disassembly lever down, doesn't matter what magazine you try to put in there, it is not going to go in there and lock at all. So anytime you put this gun together, you need to make sure your disassembly lever is locked back, and then you have to put it down to put your slide back on. But let's go ahead and insert it in here, and remember, it is kind of a tight fit, the XDM, the larger ones, which is weird because the silver XDM magazines seem to go in there not as tough. So that's going to be experiment number 2. So did you hear it lock in there? And when we look at it, let's go in there. So the tip of our magazine is right underneath the ejector now, right where it's supposed to be in line. So to run that top bullet right into the chamber like that. So the way it's timed like the factory magazines, but again, it's not going to fall out unless you pull it out. You hear the click as it locks in there. Now, let me go grab the slide and we'll take a look at that. And you can see how dirty it did get after, what, 70 rounds? So give me a second and I'll go get that slide. All right, so we got the slide here, and that was after 70 rounds. Take a look how dirty. Let me get it to focus in. Come on, focus in there. That is pretty dirty in there. You know, so let me go like this, focus right there. All right, there it is. So after about 70 rounds, it got pretty damn dirty. And now the blowback wasn't so bad in my face or anything like that, and I didn't notice it, but the top of the slide did get pretty dirty on there. So overall, what do I think about the whole situation? For a magazine that's not even supposed to fit in this gun, and in theory wasn't even supposed to work at all, I'm pretty proud of it, you know. So now, testing and evaluation, what I'm going to do is go get my laser cutter, and we're going to cut some notches more professionally, now that we know our measurements up and down and everything like that. And we're going to make a couple different magazines. I'm going to try the silver ones and see if they function even better in this. And then we'll have magazines that are universal for both the Echelon and the XDM that could go back and forth once you get the bigger ones. So that is pretty exciting. Hope you enjoyed it. XD Man out. XD Man back again. If you like what you saw and the videos are alright, throw me a follow, please.